dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Get me run away from my problems.
Yep, it's good original crew, man. We're back. We got another Nick Crowley. Yo, it's getting late, y'all. See crashes. She like,
I get fidgety.
Yo, we done recorded all day, bro. But it's all for y'all, man. Hopefully y'all are enjoying it. But today, with the Nick Crowley, we got people that slipped out of reality. Reality, it be calling me. Yeah.
No, I was just nodding my head, you know.
Nah. You caught the vibe.
No.
But hey, with that being said, before we get into it, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals.
Like it with a thumbs up.
Man, it's getting late, y'all. See, you good? You gonna hold out?
I always do.
Hey, it is getting late for us, but we got one more after this, and we done for the day. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's been a very productive day on our end. We got a Patreon after this, man. But let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get it.
There are few things more complex in this world than reality itself. It may be impossible to ever fully understand it, yet we are subjected to it every second of every day. It quite literally is our entire existence. Defined, reality is the sum of all that is real or existent within a system. But what happens when, in a split second, an event occurs that breaks the rules of that system? The rules that should be unbreakable. What happens when reality glitches?
I am privileged to be here today.
We've seen it happen before with things like the Mandela effect and doppelgangers, and all that's really interesting to me. But there's something that interests me more, and that's the idea that if the reality around us can glitch, maybe so can we. It's an idea that we've touched on before in my Backrooms video. You're going about living your daily life when suddenly the world around you changes until it's not even your world anymore. Glitching out of reality is something that most find to simply be the work of fiction, but on some occasions, these real-world malfunctions may have actually happened, with some stories going past any rational explanation. And James Tedford is about to become our first example.
It's such a comfort to take the bus.
And the man who keeps his eyes closed. Mystery? There's really no mystery.
It was a snowy day in St. Albans, Vermont, in the winter of 1949, as people piled onto the public bus headed for the town of Bennington. On board, the bus was nearly filled with people, with one being a man named James Tedford. It should have been an 8-hour bus ride, and it was one that Tedford had done numerous times before. After a recent stint in World War II, Tedford found himself living in the Bennington Soldiers' Home, which, as you might have guessed, was located in Bennington. But with many of his relatives living in St. Albans, he would frequently make the long trip out to see them. But as the snow began to pile higher and higher that day, the bus ride began to drag, and it was estimated that its route was delayed by hours. As the long day of traveling went on, Tedford found himself dozing off, and by the last stretch of his trip, he had fallen asleep completely. As the bus stopped at the final station before Bennington, Tedford remained in his seat, fast asleep, as the door shut and they headed towards their final stop. The bus would arrive in Bennington shortly after, but Tedford never would. As the bus neared the last stop, some noticed that Tedford was no longer sleeping in his seat. In fact, he was nowhere to be seen. Tedford's luggage was left in the luggage rack, and his bus timetable was still lying open in the seat where he had just been sleeping, yet there was no sign of him. But the issue was that the bus hadn't stopped since the previous station, the station that Tedford was seen on board sleeping soundly through. This is something that all 14 passengers and the bus rider told to authorities. Tedford was still on board that bus when it was heading for its last stop, but when they arrived at that next stop, he was nowhere to be found. So while the bus was moving along its last route of the day, James Tedford had vanished into thin air. But how could it be possible? If the bus hadn't stopped, then there would have been no way for him to possibly leave. James Tedford would never end up coming back to retrieve his belongings. And in fact, no one would ever hear from him after this. And despite an investigation and an extensive search by authorities, the last time that he would ever be seen was sleeping on that bus. It's a disappearance that seems to be completely impossible. How does one disappear from a moving public bus? How can you vanish before someone's eyes? It has caused people to wonder if, perhaps, at some point throughout that last leg of the trip, our world experienced an error. An error that removed Tedford from our reality. It's an improbable occurrence.
What you think might have happened?
I don't know, but I don't put nothing,
Could he possibly have woke up?
Woke up and did what? The bus was moving, it was driving, so where would he have went?
I'm saying y'all might have thought some people.
You saying he could have possibly have woke up and got off?
Hurry up and got off and wasn't thinking.
But
you know how sometimes you'll wake up and just automatically be in a panic. You like, hold on. Somebody got to tell you, hold on, slow down. But you like, oh.
But this is the thing. So, say for instance, okay, the bus moving. I just seen this man. I glanced over
Or do
here.
they think they saw him?
I glanced over here 30 seconds ago, and I seen him sleeping peacefully.
You know how you'll be like, I swear I've seen that, and you be like,
okay, explain why he's never been. Well, okay, what you saying? What are you saying? He's never been.
Because this happened in 1949. Did we go to
he's never been seen again?
Is that true though? Did we truly follow up? I'm saying, did we truly follow up, with place of residence to make sure has his loved ones ever reported him missing? You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm not saying I'm pretty sure with nothing.
I mean, that's all I can say. It was.
No. We gotta go with that.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, if he never made it home.
No.
You going off the deep end. What's happening? Where are you trying to go with it?
I'm saying it could be a possibility that, you know what I'm saying? They say we searched, but y'all, man, we be watching Mr. Ballin, and they say they just search, but they ain't gonna be searching everything. But they say they have. Just to wrap up the case.
If I was on that bus and I seen that man, and I know for sure I seen that man.
But you seen him, but it might
I'm
not.
saying while we driving and I can see his face.
He might got off at the last stop and she thought just presumed because she could have saw.
It wasn't just one person, was it?
No, the last stop it was just him and the driver, right?
Oh, it was him and the driver. Oh, I thought it was.
I thought
and
maybe they had looked at the luggage and saw his luggage still there, and then. And thought, hey, maybe he laying down in the seat.
Okay, let me say this. That could be true. Maybe he got off the bus at one point when they stopped, whatever. But my only other thing is, if that is true, not ruling it out, whatever.
Why he never came back for his stuff?
That, or if the family did report anything and he hasn't been seen since, explain that.
Should have ran away. Yeah, y'all act like people, especially back then. Did he have him warned? Was he involved
ran away, changed
in Vermont? Was he involved in a mob or something? And said, hey, I have to run away, hide. You never know. Stuff like that did happen back then, though. Let's be real. It's 1949.
Yeah, with this, I don't have much, so I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm just very, it could be a plethora of things.
It could be. It really could be. But
I just don't want to say
I don't have
there's
too
a glimpse in
much. I
the...
wasn't there, so I don't know if I seen him. You know,
But
I
we
can't
all
say.
experience a sense of knowing something happened, and it happens the exact way we like. Yo, I've seen this before, and then you hit a point and you like, and you start questioning everything.
Deja vu.
Deja vu.
I have it all the time,
Just been here before. It's just like,
and I really do think that. Like,
repeats its cycle.
Well, I know a lot of people don't believe, but I do believe that. I be like, why do I know this?
I need to
How
go back
do
and
I
watch
know
that movie,
this?
though.
Why? Yeah, huh?
I said I need to go back and watch that movie.
What?
Deja vu.
Oh, you done seen it before?
Yes, Denzel. Who haven't seen it?
Some people haven't.
I'm
Everybody
saying I'm
haven't
black
seen
and
it.
I've seen a lot of Denzel movies, so I done seen that. I done showed you Denzel movies you ain't never seen before.
Like what?
His very first one.
That's the only one. Let's move on. That's the only one. And I said,
You ain't never showed me a Denzel movie I ain't seen before.
maybe it's not a competition. Come on.
I know another one I can show you ain't never seen before. I do know another one.
Let's go. Let's go.
That remove Tedford from our reality. It's an improbable occurrence. How can our reality experience a glitch like this? And how can it even glitch in general? Well, there isn't really a concrete answer to this currently, and there likely never will be. But a theory has been proposed that could explain everything. It's a theory called the simulation theory, which explores the idea that we are currently living within a simulation, one that faces...
Have you ever thought of that, dog?
No, I really... No.
I have. I used to think about this all the time. I really used to think, what if life is literally, we're living out this simulation and we're all strapped into strapped into this table, right? And our brain, we're like in a sleep mode. And our life is a simulation, right? And we're just acting everything out. And then when we die, that's us actually waking up wherever else we're at.
You leaning over me like, what you, like...
I have literally was like, or also I was like, bro, what if we living in this multiple complex universe, right? And there's multiple dimensions in life. I'm just taking you into a side I ain't never took you to right now, but we live in such a multiple. You get what I'm saying?
What you trying to say, like multi-dimensional or something?
Like when we die here on this earth, like we were born again somewhere else, and we experience life on that earth, and then we die from that, we go to this another dimension, and we're born again on that earth,
Maybe
and we
so.
just keep experiencing life in different forms.
I sure feel like
I don't know, bro. Sometimes my mind do go there, and I just be like, all right, I'm crazy. I'm getting crazy like the rest of these people. Let me.
I mean, what, like, not necessarily.
And the crazy thing is, we'll never know.
And that's the thing. I'm like, you think you crazy for thinking like that, but someone that doesn't think like that could be the crazy one for not thinking like that. So it's
because
just like,
you don't. What's so
we
crazy?
don't know what's what.
If it's true, we would never know, because do you remember your life before this one? No.
Kinda.
So if you... Shut the hell up. No.
I swear.
No, you don't.
I do. A little bit. I
bro.
do. I really do. And that's why sometimes I get so many things mixed up, and I be having to tell you, I gotta really... Come on, let's go.
I'm listening to you. Just keep
and I be
talking.
like, I gotta, let me just fact check that. Let me ask my mama something. And then she'll be like, no, that, and I'm like, yes, it did. I know for a fact. I know where I was living at. I could tell you every little thing.
And they be like,
know.
no.
And they be like, no, that wasn't.
But
that
you get
didn't
what
happen.
I mean, though?
Mm-hmm.
I be like, because you don't have a remembrance. You don't know what was before the
Yeah, I know
now.
what you're saying.
And
you
so
don't know every little thing.
if like what we believe is true, and we do recycle into another life or another, we won't remember this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least let me remember something, so I could be able to have a more successful life the next time. If I have an ounce of memory from my previous, I can do better in my next. Or would I though? Because some people will look at it like this: if I can remember, then I know this is just a continuous repeated cycle. So I'll cause destruction while I'm here, Because I know if I die, I'm just gonna come back again.
So okay, let's go.
Because I can, like, this ain't it. So I'm gonna wreak havoc while I'm here.
Well, why?
And the next life, if I can remember, I might be a millionaire. The next life, I might be a basketball player. Or you never know, because you like, hey, shit, I got multiple dreams. I'm gonna like, if you literally had the remembrance, I don't know. I'd be wanting to go deep with it, but I'm like, nah, ain't no point of going deep, man. It's a little weird.
It's not.
You'll never think.
It's not weird, and I do think. I just keep things to myself.
Okay, I feel you. I do too.
Explores the idea that we are currently living within a simulation, one that faces malfunctions just like any other simulation would. And yes, I understand how crazy it sounds, but with some background information, it actually might make sense.
Okay, Atari, let's see your best pitch.
Don't just watch television tonight. Play it.
40 years ago, look back and see what our video games used to look like, and now compare them to what we have today. The growth in our computing technology has happened at such an incredibly high rate, and from this point on, technology will only grow more and more. We went from hitting a ball back and forth to simulating our own little worlds within less than 50 years. And on the timeline of our existence, that's such a minuscule bit of time. So assuming that humans will remain living for thousands and thousands of more years, then let's imagine how advanced the technology will become. I mean, at some point, our technology will get so advanced that our computers and games might be able to replicate free will. Which means the non-player characters within a game will be so advanced that they can make their own decisions, have emotions, and be able to touch and feel things. This would be the equivalent of them having their own mind and gives them the ability to think for themselves. Once that happens, then the game or simulation is their reality. That's all they would know. So they would have no way of knowing that they are actually just a simulated being, unknowingly living in a world that, on a physical level, doesn't even exist. And with the way our technology has been advancing and is projected to continue to advance, it seems that there's a good chance that this could be possible in the future. But this is where the theory gets a lot deeper. Once we have the ability to create a simulation where the characters truly think they're real, then those sims will start to advance. In that simulation, the idea of a simulated world wouldn't be invented yet, so eventually they would invent it for themselves. And when they do, they would run it and create another simulated world. And then that world would do the same thing, and it would keep going and going and going.
Someone programs a universe, and in there they gain maturity and technology, and then they program a universe, and then they program a universe. So you can have nested, simulated universes all the way down, but there's only one real universe.
And each time that simulation is run, it'll lead to millions of more simulated worlds, all filled with sims who have no idea that their world doesn't physically exist. So basically what I'm saying is that once one of these simulated worlds is created, then it opens the door for billions and billions and trillions of other simulated worlds to come after it. So let's look at that from our perspective. Where does that leave us? Does that make us the one true reality that hasn't created simulations yet? Or are we one of the trillions of simulations that were created after its invention? I mean, it's crazy, but really think about it. If you believe that this level of simulation is going to be possible in the future, that means that the chances of us living in the one true reality right now would be 1 in billions. This is a point that people like Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson have even showed support for in the past.
So given that we're clearly on a trajectory to have games that are indistinguishable from reality, and those games could be played on any set-top box or on a PC or whatever, and there would probably be, billions of such, computers or set-top boxes, it would seem to follow that the odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions.
I mean, not that that proves anything, but they're a lot smarter than I am, and that lends some credibility to this theory. And though this sounds like a wild conspiracy, this actually is a fairly well-researched scientific theory that many scientists are unironically exploring at the moment. Now, truthfully, there is so much more to this topic that it would just take hours and hours to fully explain it, so I'll just leave it at that. But hopefully that at least made some sense, because it seems to be the basis for understanding how these real-world malfunctions could be possible, because every game and every simulation has glitches along the way, and some are worse than others. Some are worse than just the removal of one person. People disappear quite frequently within our world, and though most turn up a short time
I do remember their disappearance.
later, sometimes people really do vanish without a trace. And while it's difficult enough to understand how this could be possible, what is even more confusing are cases of mass disappearances. Cases where rather than just one person vanishing, it's a whole group. It's not something that commonly happens, but when it does, it often defies all logical explanation, with perhaps one of the earliest recorded examples of this being the Roanoke colony. It happened all the way back in 1585, when European settlers established a colony on the island of Roanoke, but almost instantly, the settlement began running into issues. For starters, they failed to ever gain peaceful relations with the Native Americans in the area. Plus, the resources there were not plentiful enough to fully support the colony. Because of this, a supply ship was sent back to Europe to restock and bring goods back to the already struggling colony. When the supply ship left Roanoke in 1587, its captain estimated that they would be back within a year to give fresh goods to the settlers. However, upon the ship's arrival back in Europe, a war broke out, pushing back the ship's return voyage. It wouldn't be until 1590 that the ship would make it back to Roanoke, but there was no one to go back to. They arrived to find the settlement looking perfectly preserved, but totally abandoned. There was no signs of a struggle, and all the settlers' belongings were left behind. The only clue that the settlers left was the word Croatoan, which had been carved into a palisade. This may have been an indication that the settlers had moved to a nearby island by that name, but unfortunately, the supply ship was never able to search that island due to poor weather conditions. There was estimated to have been around 120 settlers living at the outpost at the time, and they all had seemingly vanished into thin air, and none were ever seen again. And despite the immense popularity that this case now has, and the modern technology that has been used to try and figure it out, the mystery has never been solved. Researchers have searched for the remains of the settlers to try and determine if they were attacked by Native Americans, but remains of the settlers were never found in Roanoke, making it almost impossible that they had been killed there by Native Americans. Plus, there was no sign of a struggle, which would have been highly unlikely if the group were actually attacked. Researchers have also searched the area of Croatoan, but again, no remains or even any artifacts were found that could have proved that the Roanoke colony had actually moved there. There are currently companies set up entirely to help in solving this case, yet nothing has come of it. And based off of what I've read, it doesn't appear that they have discovered a single piece of conclusive physical evidence.
We did a video about that. What do you think happened? Possibly happened.
I still to this day
Don't really know.
I still to this day have not formulated a conclusion of what could have happened. Have you?
Nah, it's only two things, right?
Two? Well, that's more than I got. So shoot.
Unless they really did kill them,
Mm-hmm.
they could have pushed their bodies out into the ocean. You know, some people like, hey, we.
Are y'all just covering the land looking, or have y'all looked in waters and stuff like that?
Probably not, because the ocean is very deep.
Because yeah, true. I mean, when he was just saying it and I was looking at the water, I was like, y'all looking at, on the land. It could be in the water if something happened to him, like,
But
if it was any foul play or something like that. But
hundreds and hundreds of years, those bodies are not like preserved
yeah,
in the
like
water.
so it's like you said, who's actually going to look?
Yeah.
And what will be left? You know what I'm saying?
2, could they have moved further into land? Could the natives have taken them, moved them even further into land, and migrated them elsewhere?
Possibly.
And they could have rooted up, started a colony that eventually, like, say for instance, another 100 years, then y'all found out, oh, y'all are the people, but they never updated the books to let people know, like, hey, we actually found the people.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, it is of a time period. Are they detailing everything?
Yeah.
They probably did find the people and never mentioned that they actually found people. Or did they possibly run them off? They fled to the other island and they killed them there.
I get what you're saying. I mean, those are good,
Those 3 options.
I mean, those are good when you don't have much, and they after all this time, nothing has come about of them searching and researching and trying to figure out. So
that's my only 3.
Yeah. Oh, you had 3. You said 2, but 3. Okay, yeah 3.
That was my only 3. So
it's better than mine because I don't have anything. I did think about the water, but then I was like, that would be like kind of.
But you got to understand, like some tribal rituals, even with death, they at the time of war, they would still respect the body. Because the body goes back to, you know what I'm saying? So they could have had a massive where they pushed the bodies out to the water and,
Will we ever, I don't know. Would they ever find anything? Would they ever search outside of just where they are searching?
As far as finding things, I don't think they would ever find things.
Yeah.
Or could it possibly be other people that came across them and not necessarily just the Native Americans?
Yeah.
There were everybody that was here before the colonizers came were Native Americans here, but the idea of Native Americans, because y'all were in South Carolina, so there were other group of people here besides the ones we depict as Native Americans.
Right.
So I don't know, man. Or could there have possibly been other colonizers coming? They could have.
There could be a plethora of things because
it took them a while to come back, and they probably was like, "Hey, we can't live here in these conditions," and they rolled back to. I'm saying, like, say for instance, they came from the UK. It could have been Spaniards come, and you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would be nice to know what happened, but what do I think we'll ever know? No, we can just always come up with these hypotheses that goes nowhere.
It's really like this group just dropped off the face of the earth. To this day, there remains dozens of theories to try and explain this event, but no one has pieced it together. With this in mind, many have come to the conclusion that this was another example of a major reality glitch. Maybe some kind of error within our simulation caused the colony to be wiped from existence. And though one might think that something like this could never happen in this day and age, that's actually far from the case.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9, good night.
We're seamlessly connected than ever to every corner of the world.
It's estimated that over 44,000 flights take off and land each day throughout the world, delivering in total roughly 2.7 million passengers. And typically, these flights go off without a hitch, as the vast majority of them make it back safely. And when the passengers boarded Malaysian Flight 370 on March 8th of 2014, they would have had no clue that they were about to become the exception.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
Flight 370 took off from Kuala Lumpur at 12:41 a.m. and was headed for Beijing. 227 passengers were on board, as well as 12 crew members. As the flight entered Vietnamese airspace, the plane's pilot radioed in to air traffic control with these chilling words. That would be the final message sent out from Flight 370. The plane would go on to disappear, along with all 239 people on board. To this day, neither the plane or its complete wreckage has ever been found. And despite there being many theories on what may have happened, there remains no solid conclusion as to where the plane went. Part of what makes this story so terrifying to me, as well as many others, is how a full-size Boeing airplane could just disappear. With the technology that this world has, I would have never imagined anything like this happening in a million years. And even after this became one of the biggest news stories of the decade, we still have yet to find any real evidence, any proof as to where this plane went. All eyes were on this topic. Everyone was searching for this plane, and yet it never turned up.
34 helicopters, 40 ships, even submarines, desperately looking for clues.
With all the resources that were used to search for it, something would have surely been discovered. And yet here we are years later with nothing but scraps of evidence. Because of this, there are many theories out there that have tried to explain how a plane like this could just vanish. And it's within these countless theories that we find one related to this video. Maybe the plane encountered a reality glitch. A glitch much like James Tedford and the entire Roanoke colony might have faced many years ago. A glitch that removed the plane from our world. Now I'm left with a ton of questions after exploring the world.
What do you think possibly happened with?
You asking me tough questions. Do you know how this one has always stumped me.
This is the weirdest one.
This one is one of the weirdest ones to me. Like the other ones, you can kind of like maybe people got it wrong. Maybe like the first one with the bus situation. Maybe he got off. Maybe whatever. Maybe he was trying to run away. He don't want to be found. Yeah. One of those things. The second one, it could be a plethora of things. But this one,
this is the biggest mystery.
This one has always been like mind blowing to me. I'm like, what could have happened? I never thought of a glitch because I would never like thought like that. You know what I'm saying?
Like this probably is the biggest mystery of our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think there's been any event that's been such of a mystery since me and you been here that we can remember.
Yeah.
Like this, cause what was the show? What was that show that?
I was thinking about it soon I seen this. I said, man, I gotta go back and finish the seasons.
We never finished. It's that show where they were flying and they disappeared, but to them, it was just a trip.
Yeah.
But everybody else, they had been missing, 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh my God, like it's been 5 years. And y'all arrived. They were like, hey, it ain't been 5 years. And that's the thing, like, I don't know if that show kind of was a like reference for something with this, or they got the idea from this. But great show.
Yeah.
This situation, you could chump it up to. I know people like, hey, maybe
manifest.
Yeah, maybe aliens. Maybe the pilot thought he can fly into space. Maybe he got it up in space.
I guess I just never could wrap my head around like the glitch thing or the alien thing, or I never go there. Like that's not my first thought. But with a situation like this, it's like
my only thought was it crashed. But I'm like, even if it did crash, y'all would still have an indication of it crashing, to my understanding.
Right, if it crashed and it went down in water, with all the resources, that y'all had and the technology, there would have been some type of signal that y'all would have gotten.
It would have flew on somebody's radar.
Something, you know what I'm saying? Like with the thermal thingamajig. What?
Can the thermal working up?
I don't know. I don't know what it's called. I'm just
It's
technology.
ain't it sonar?
It's
Sonar
something.
like with sounding up.
Something.
Like
Yeah, I don't know the terminology for all this
like,
stuff.
I thought
but
that was like,
I don't know.
Water? I'm just asking.
I don't know. But with all the technology, let's just keep it plain and simple. I would have thought that something would have come about. Nothing. That was 2014. This happened.
And it's been 10 years. 10 years. They still have no
Still
answer.
have nothing. I remember when this happened, and I was like, how does a plane just vanish? Like
a big Boeing plane at that. Them aren't those the largest? I've never been on a plane
think
before.
so.
But aren't those the largest planes like in the world? Are the Boeing airplanes? I thought that just doesn't come up missing. A plane like this. This plane does not just come up missing. And for the pilot to say good night, is he talking to the people? Or is he like people on the plane, like, hey, telling them, hey, good night? Because obviously y'all traveling far. It's just like, hey, get y'all some rest, good night.
Yeah. Could have been. Like, I'm not going to look too deep into that, but sometimes you never know.
We need to look into that.
Excuse me, you never know. But
yeah,
this one has always stumped me. I don't think I would, every time this comes up in a video, because I'm pretty sure this won't be the last time we hear, someone I will never have anything. I will never have
That's
anything.
Mystery, bro.
10 years to think on it and to figure out, and still nothing.
Maybe y'all can let us know. Some of y'all have y'all theories of what possibly
could have happened.
And like things that rumors or things that y'all have heard. We would like to hear them in the comment section down below. So y'all spam us up, man. Let us know. But let's get back.
Now I'm left with a ton of questions after exploring the world of reality glitches. But one question still burns in my mind. If all this is true, and people and things can really glitch out of our world, then where do they go?
Right.
Would that person just cease to exist? Or would people survive the glitch and find themselves in some sort of other reality? Perhaps they glitch into an area outside of the map, an area that wouldn't be rendered by the simulation. If it truly wasn't rendered, then maybe the area would just be a void, an endless plane of darkness and nothingness, an area that you would be permanently stuck in, surrounded by nothing, alone for the rest of your eternity, which is a horrifying thought, and for that reason alone, I hope that none of this is true.
That is sad, bro. Just the thought of that.
Just saying that is a thing, because some people do believe in, and stuff like that. Not saying it's true or not, because I really don't know. I never really thought too much on it. That is sad and scary, and just to even think about happening, that you will be stuck in this space, this dark space, alone. I wonder, do you even realize that you once was in this other universe, and now you hear, I wonder, do you actually have the awareness to know, hey, what? I don't know. It's just crazy to think about. Even saying it is kind of crazy. But yeah,
it's scary.
Yeah.
But hey, man, y'all spam us up in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts in the comment section down below for us, man. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and C.
We are.
Peace.
No time to kick it, got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money low, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.